In the vast architecture of human longing, some stories do not unfold in grand, sweeping arcs, but in trembling half-steps, in the quiet rooms of the heart where memory, desire, and regret perform their most intimate, dangerous dances. Vikram Seth's An Equal Music, published in 1999, is one such story. It is not an epic of triumph, nor a romance that seeks to reassure. Instead, it is a slow, aching sonata about a love resurrected too late, a meditation on the fragility of art and the silence that inevitably claims even the most exquisite music. This is a novel where emotion is tuned like a violin string, pulled tight enough to sing, but always at risk of snapping. It is a story of a man haunted by what he once had, and a woman haunted by what she is losing. And in the space between them lies a single, devastating truth. Not all love is meant to be lived. Some love is meant only to be remembered. Michael Holm, the novel's protagonist, is a violinist in a London quartet, a man whose life is shaped not by words or choices, but by sound. And yet, for all his devotion to music, he is not a man at peace. Even before the story truly begins, something in him vibrates with unresolved tension. He plays, but he does not feel fulfilled. He works, but he does not feel present. The world around him is muted, shadowed by a single absence he has never learned to silence. Her name is Julia McNichol. Years earlier, in Vienna, Julia was Michael's lover, his partner, his companion in both life and music. Their relationship was not merely romantic, it was symphonic. She played the piano, he the violin, two voices intertwined, inseparable, each completing the other's phrasing. But something broke between them, abruptly and without closure, leaving Michael suspended in a kind of emotional stasis. Time moved on, but Michael did not. His music became a refuge and a torment, a space where he could chase the ghost of a love he could neither reclaim nor forget. And then, one ordinary London day, the past steps onto his bus. Julia, real, alive, changed but unmistakable. Seeing her is like hearing a melody he once knew by heart, a melody he thought he would never hear again. Their reunion is fragile, hesitant, charged with the electricity of unfinished emotion. Julia is now married, a mother, a woman whose life has taken a path far from the one she once shared with Michael. And yet, the connection between them reignites with terrifying ease, as though the intervening years had been a mere fermata, a pause in the score, not an ending. But beneath the warmth of their rediscovered bond lies a secret that threatens to undo everything. Julia is losing her hearing. The pianist who once lived through sound is being drawn, slowly and inexorably, into silence. This revelation gives their reunion a heartbreaking counterpoint. Michael clings to the past. Julia is being pulled away from it by a force neither can resist. Their love becomes a negotiation between what was, what is, and what can never be again. As they begin an affair, tender, luminous, doomed, Seth composes their relationship like a piece of chamber music, each emotion layered carefully upon the next. They rehearse together, returning to Bach's The Art of Fugue, a piece that in its mathematical purity becomes the embodiment of their love, intricate, precise, full of longing, and ultimately unfinished. With every note, Julia slips further into silence. With every moment, Michael slips further into obsession. For Michael, Julia represents the life he believes he lost, a life of purity, certainty, passion, and artistic purpose. But Julia, unlike Michael, does not live in memory. She lives in the present, and her present is unraveling. The silence encroaching on her world is not metaphorical. It is physical, measurable, unavoidable. And the pain that accompanies it is a pain she cannot share with someone who refuses to accept change. Michael's love, which begins as devotion, corrodes slowly into possessiveness. Julia becomes not a person, but a symbol of the past he romanticizes, of the perfection he demands, of the emotional clarity he craves. And symbols cannot carry the weight of real life. Julia is pulled between what she feels for Michael and what she has built with her husband and child. She is torn between her lingering affection and her fading ability to inhabit the world they once shared. Silence, in this novel, is not merely the absence of sound, it is the absence of possibility. Eventually, the affair collapses under the gravity of reality. Julia cannot dismantle her life for a love restored too late. Michael cannot accept a love he cannot control. And music, their shared refuge, becomes a reminder of what they are losing rather than what they have. Julia leaves Michael a final letter. It is tender, sorrowful, and resolute. She tells him she must step away, not out of cruelty, but out of necessity. Her life is narrowing, her world is dimming. She cannot inhabit a love that demands from her what she can no longer give. She asks him to remember the beauty they shared, not the pain that ended it. Their time together, she insists, was real, but not sustainable. And so Michael is left alone with his violin, his memories, and the unbearable echo of what might have been. He returns to his quartet, to his routines, to the life that has always felt too small. But something in him has shifted. Love did not complete him, it unmade him. And yet, in this unmaking, there is a strange, fragile dignity. And equal music does not offer catharsis. It offers truth. A truth many recognize but few admit, that some loves are not meant to be lived out loud. Some loves exist only in the quiet corridors of memory, where they can remain unbroken. In the end, Michael learns, too late, that obsession is not the same as affection, that music cannot restore what life has undone, and that the most painful silences are not those in the world around us, but those in the heart. The story ends not with a grand crescendo, but with a single note fading into darkness, trembling, unresolved, and impossibly beautiful. When the music ends, what do we hold on to? The silence or the last note? And what part of your past is still playing softly in the background?